Welcome to my next Stranger Things Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am every watching or watching Stranger Things, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, thus far I've watched every single episode of Stranger Things, and make sure you come back to this channel for my Stranger Things Season 5, the final season of Stranger Things, episode review videos, whenever that finally comes out, which I'm hearing late October, early November. We shall see, but I'm guessing they'll probably take a break once they come out to make people stay on Netflix that aren't staying on Netflix to begin with to pay for it longer. So, with all that said, this will be Stranger Things Season 4, Episode 3. The title of this episode is called The Monster and the Superhero, and this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. Jack visits Jack Sullivan, who has been fired from his job following the events of 1985 in his home in Ruth, Nevada. Sullivan shows Owens images of Christy Cunningham's corpse and explaining the circumstances. Sullivan states his belief that Eleven, who Owens insists is dead, has gone rogue and is testing her powers to remotely assassinate people in Hawkins. Owens refuses to surrender information, so Sullivan leaves, ordering his men to track down any of Owens' contacts in hope of finding Eleven. Jonathan and Argyle both are clearly high, drive Eleven, Mike, and Will back from the roller rink after Eleven injured Angela. They return to find Murray making dinner for them, where Joyce explains that she needs to go on a business trip to Alaska the next day. Argyle mentions the incident at the rink, and Eleven excuses herself to her room when Mike makes an offhanded comment about Angela laying down on her bed and experiencing intense flashbacks of the mass murder at Hawkins Laboratory. Vecna reconnects himself to his tendrils and rises into the air. Lucas wakes up in Benny's Burgers, where he goes outside to find Jason, Patrick, and Andy preparing to hunt Eddie. Jason grants him permission to leave if he does not feel up to it, but Lucas insists he is fine. Steve, Dustin, Robin, and Max visit Eddie, still hiding out in Rick Lipton's boathouse, to inform him that the police are looking for him, but his name has not been revealed publicly. Dustin plans to kill Vecna to prove Eddie's innocence, which Eddie points out sounds like an impossible task. They notice the police speed by outside. The police have found Fred Benson's body, we're interrogating Nancy on when she last saw him. She brings up Wayne Munson's Victor Creed theory, which Calvin Powell, the new sheriff, ignores. Dustin's group arrives on the scene, and Nancy looks at them, realizing the Upside Down is involved in the murders. Mike sits with Eleven in a room, knowing that she did not tell him the truth, as he has been bullied his whole life. But Eleven insists that she does not belong, and people believe she is a monster. She points out that after seeing Mike's reflection to her, or Mike's reaction, not reflection, to her hitting Angela, that he thinks she is a monster as well, noting that he does not say "I love you" to her anymore. He insists that she cannot let the opinions of other people ruin her relationship and that she is a superhero, but she sighs, not anymore. The police come to detain Eleven for hitting Angela, and Mike insists, as she is taken away, that he will find a way to help her. As the plane to Alaska prepares to take off, Joyce expresses regret over lying to her children, but Murray, knowing their tendency to get involved, claims that she did the right thing. She claims that she has seen an old friend when a flight attendant asks, and expresses mild disgust when the attendant assumes Murray is her husband. In Kamchutka, Hopper provokes Enzo, actually a guard named Dimitri, into a fight so they can talk in private. Dimitri informs Hopper that Joyce and Murray are going to Alaska, and that he is sending them to Yuri, a reputable smuggler, and Dimitri warns Hopper to escape in time to be on the plane the next day. Dimitri punches Hopper in the face to keep up the appearances. The Hawkins group updates Nancy on what they know, and they've tried to find a correlation between Fred and Christy's actions before their deaths. Max remembers seeing Christy leave Mrs. Kelly's office and realizes that she may have been confiding in her about her visions, and so the group decides to find out if Fred was also seeing her. Nancy splits off from the group to check something out, and Steve tries to go with her, but eventually has Robin go with Nancy when he realizes he is the only other person who can legally drive, aside from Nancy, because Robin can't drive good, and Dustin and Max, of course, well, they can drive, but they're not actually legal to drive, obviously. And then inside Eddie's trailer, something forms on the ceiling where Chrissy hit it. Vecna descends into a metal plane where he can see and hear the darkness of Hawkins' residence, eventually selecting Patrick after hearing his father berating him. Patrick, in the car with the basketball team, experiences a brief headache and his nose starts to bleed, which he ignores. The team arrives at the house where the coffin is. The band that Eddie's part of is practicing. The Dungeons and Dragons folks that he's friends with have a band. The band members question Lucas as to why he is with the team, but Lucas again pretends that they know who he is through his sister. Jason violently interrogates one of the members of the band until he says that Dustin may know where Eddie is, much to Lucas's discomfort. Eleven is questioned by the police about the incident, but she does not explain why she hit Angela, and again experiences flashbacks of the incident at the lab. As the Byers brothers and Mike talk to the police to figure out how to free her, she is taken away in a prison transport van while they watch. As 11 continues to have flashbacks, the van is intercepted in a remote area by Sam Owens and several federal agents. Hopper approaches a inmate and trades his meal in exchange for the inmate breaking his chain during the next work period. During work, Hopper waits for the guards to be distracted and gives the inmate the signal, biting down on his sleeve while the inmate hits his chain with a sledgehammer, breaking his foot in the process. That night, he barely disguises his damaged chain and sets his foot when alone in his cell. Max goes to see Mrs. Kelly's house under the guise of wanting to talk to her. Dustin and Steve wait outside, where the former points out that he seemed eager to go with Nancy until the latter tells him to be quiet. Mrs. Kelly tries to get Max to talk about Billy's death, but she instead tries to talk about Chrissy. Mrs. Kelly refuses to violate Chrissy's privacy, and so Max asks to go to the bathroom, using it as an excuse to steal her office keys to the school. Jason, Patrick, and Andy investigate the outside of Dustin's house. Lucas slips into his bedroom through a window and calls him on his radio, Supercom. Not knowing who he is with, Dustin reveals Eddie's location, and Max tells him to meet them at the school, but Lucas is interrupted by the team before he can warn them. To avoid suspicion, he gives them Eddie's location, but intentionally misleads them. They arm themselves and go to the provided area, only for Lucas to slip away from the group when he has the chance. So he directs them to Hopper and Eleven's cabin. Nancy and Robin go to Hawkins Public Library, not Police Library, to investigate Victor Creel. Their research takes them all day, and Nancy becomes increasingly annoyed with Robin, especially when she points out that she and Steve are not dating for seemingly no reason. Basically, hey, I'm a lesbian. If you want to hook up, I'm here for you. They resort to checking archived tabloids, finding a headline that says Creel claimed a demon killed his family. It claims that Creel thought his house was haunted by a demon and hired a priest to exorcise it, which failed, and it killed his family and spared him as punishment. Owens takes 11 to a diner and promises to take care of the ring incident, then explains that why he tracked her down. Hawkins is in danger because of Vecna's influence, and they need her to stop him. She reminds him that her powers are gone, but he tells her there's a way to bring them back stronger than before if she comes with her. He warns her that a faction of the government believes she is a threat, but he believes she can save them all. He reassures her that this is her choice, but her friends in Hawkins are in danger, and she may be the only one who can save them. She agrees to go with Owens, and the agents are dispatched to the Byers' house to inform them of her disappearance. Robin radios Dustin with her findings, who is busy breaking into the school with Max and Steve. Max finds that Mrs. Kelly was seeing both Fred and Chrissy, and that they were both suffering from headaches, nosebleeds, and nightmares. Just as she realizes these line up with the recent behavior, she hears Vecna calling to her. She heads out to the hallway to see a grandfather clock embedded in the wall. Vecna calls her name again, and in the Upside Down, his eyes open, and that's what ends this episode of Stranger Things. So, a good episode. My characters of the episode are going to be Dr. Sam Owens, played by Paul Reiser, and Lucas are the ones that I'm choosing. There are others that are good in this episode. It's a very hard show to say a character of the episode because everybody does so good. So, you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Stranger Things and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Stranger Things. What would you rate it, and who, if you had to choose a character of the episode or characters, would you choose? And remember to come back to this channel for Stranger Things Season 5 reviews whenever that season finally decides to come out. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100K subscribers. Yes, I know that's a very high goal. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.